catalyst Africa needs to become an economic powerhouse. What's that one ingredient needed for any continent like Africa to economically develop? It's none other than a structural change and economic transformation. Structural transformation is a central process in economic development. Without an enhancement of a country's productive capacity and a shift of resources to higher productivity sectors, countries will not be able to deliver on a 2030 agenda for sustainable development. UNCTAD Secretariat, 2017. But why exactly is structural change and economic transformation so important? Let's take a closer look. At the very basics, structural transformation is the transition of an economy from low productivity and labor-intensive activities to a higher productivity and skill-intensive activities. This involves the movement of labor and other productive resources from low productivity to high productivity economic activities. Structural transformation in developing countries, cross-regional analysis. What this specifically means is a shift in economic investment in a country triggered by political decisions or government policies. This shift could be from an agrarian economy or an extractive resource-based economy to that of an industrial manufacturing or service-based economy with the capabilities and expertise expected to evolve from within. To make the shift an all-inclusive package, improved skills, education, research facilities, a good investment environment, and a political shift in support to the newly created productive business sector would work together to achieve a sustainable economic transformation in the state. The creation of a strong support base could also ensure that long-term growth is maintained in the established processes and industries. Structural transformation could also be within sector productivity growth. For instance, current firms or farms could adopt innovative technology and management practices which increases the efficiency of production. On the other hand, economic transformation is the continuous process of structural change, i.e., moving labor and other resources from lower to higher productivity structural change, and raising within sector productivity growth. Within sector productivity growth entails the adoption of new technologies and management practices that increases the efficiency of production, supporting economic transformation, and Approach Paper 2017. What triggers the process of structural change or economic transformation? For the entire economic transformation process to occur, we need one influential catalyst, a specific kind of policy that separates itself from the rest. That catalyst is an industrial policy. John Page, a senior fellow at the Global Economy and Development Program at the Brookings Institution in Washington, D.C., is a strong proponent of industrial policy. He believed the selective promotion of certain kinds of economic sectors or activities was needed to achieve economic transformation. He further stated that industrial policy involves the selective promotion of certain kinds of economic sectors or activities in order to achieve the transformation of the economy. Industrial policy in the 21st century, the challenge for Africa. It has been documented that the East Asian miracle experienced by Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Singapore was based on their government industrial policy framework that attempted to create a domestic production structure that was globally competitive. They attained this by aggressive export promotion, accompanied by policies which enabled local firms reach technological frontier. Many of these local firms are now multinational giants such as Toyota, Mitsubishi, Samsung, Hyundai, and Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company TSMC, all of which can trace their growth to industrial policy measures adopted in their respective economies. UK industrial policy, learning from the past. These lessons teach us about what can be done to bring Africa's economy into the present day. However, it's more easily said than done. For Africa's countries to fast forward with structural change, governments within Africa needs to introduce a series of industrial policies. It's important that it does so with a seriousness and sincerity that the general public can understand as objective and not partisan. That is the only way Africa can move on from its persistent colonial structure of exporting low-value resources such as raw minerals and cash crops to a more diversified economy based on skills, manufacturing, technology, and innovation. African countries in turn should identify sectors that can make use of comparative advantage and dynamic advantage to build its capacity with human capital sourced locally and abroad, especially its diaspora community. Though the journey may be hard, doing this necessary economic development will be Africa's path forward onto the world stage as an equal player. So, are governments within African countries capable of introducing new industrial policies? What kinds of sectors can they begin to identify? Let us know in the comments below what you think of Africa's potential for structural change and economic transformation.